I feel the same way. Anyway, you got anything to add to that?
Egotistical psychopaths.
As far as who?
The people behind the curtains who are controlling things. When he's talking about Donald Trump.
So you think Donald Trump is an egotistical
not Donald Trump, but the people that he appointed in command.
Okay, so what you're basically trying to say is that, these other individuals feel like they know how shit should actually go down.
Right. And they're above everybody else.
Mm.
I do want to say that I do believe Trump is an egotistical psychopath.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that any person in charge of any country or any large corporation or has a lot of people working for them is most definitely an egotistical psychopath. You don't get to that position without having those kind of traits.
Well, statistics show that 8 out of 21 CEOs are psychopaths, so not everybody that's in charge is a psychopath.
I'm going to say that much higher.
Why are we limiting that case, study to 21 CEOs, though?
That's just
I would like to, broaden that a little.
It gets, the higher you go up the dominance hierarchy, the more psychopaths, because it's high risk, high reward, and they have no empathy or like...
Right, I understand. I would probably assume that Bezos is one of those. Would you consider Elon Musk a psychopath?
No, he's one of the exceptions.
Okay.
I definitely think he's fucking crazy. You can see in a lot of things that he does. He's
eccentric.
I wouldn't say he's crazy. I would say he's a
how much of a difference?
I would say he's
eccentric.
How much of a difference is an eccentric and a psychopath?
Yeah. No, he's not a psychopath.
It's a lot. I mean, do you think Elon Musk is going to come into your house and murder your children at some point in time during the night? No.
Well, I don't think Jeff Bezos is going to do that either.
Well,
he just wants to enslave us.
He'll send someone else to do it.
Right. Elon Musk benefits humanity. Jeff Bezos does not. He's got more greed towards him. Elon Musk is like,
that's obviously our opinion. It's how we feel.
Right. It's always opinion, but psychopaths do that.
I think that the motivation matters more than the actual philosophy of the person. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Whereas I believe that
you're talking about like there are more or less thoughts and ideologies.
So you're saying Elon Musk is doing things to benefit humanity.
Right.
Yes.
And I would say that Donald Trump did what he did because of his love for the country and that he wanted to actually make the country a better place. I mean, obviously he wants to be out front and center. He wants to be the star of the show.
He's a narcissist for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I think his deep down motivation, the way I felt and I believed about it, and the way that he talked and explained things, is he did love the country and he wanted to do what was best for this country.
I think he likes to be in the spotlight and he likes to be loved.
Right.
That's why he did what he did. For the love of the country.
Okay, well, number one, first of all, if you become president of the United States, you are not going to be universally loved.
No,
period.
Absolutely not.
No.
It's always going to be one side or the other.
Yeah, but he wanted to be loved by a particular type of group of people.
Well, he wanted to be loved by more people, but they just rejected him outright in the first place.
And he doesn't like Democrats.
Like I said, and that goes down to just the general divide in the country at this point in time.
Right.
I mean, it's just like,
But isn't that what America's built off of?
He was basically a Democrat though, but like many years prior, he was never really a Republican. If anything, he was a liberal years ago.
I mean, granted, that wasn't his actual technical political affiliation, but he had more like representative views of that particular.
I can tell you right now, he did not have the classic conservative views. Going into the presidency.
Conservative, or even, I would venture to say, even like technically Republican kind of views.
I mean, all these labels get kind of like mixed up.
Yes, they do. That is absolutely correct.
I was talking before about how I didn't talk about it on camera, but if you label
talking about now,
if you label yourself one way or another, say this person says they're a Democrat. They just put themselves into a box where now that they feel and believe that they have to think a certain way, think certain things are wrong or right morally, when they shouldn't. You shouldn't label yourself. severely limiting yourself by calling yourself a Democrat, a Republican, a conservative, a leftist, a
this is what we state all the time.
A socialist, a capitalist.
You got to think for yourself. We say
Right.
this all the time on our channel. We say
Yes, your own research. Think for yourself, as you're saying. But what I would argue with that is the fact that if you're going to call yourself, i.e., in this case, like a Democrat, why do you have to conscribe to all of the views of that particular political party? Why can't you have your own fucking opinions?
Right.
Because they want to be part of the group. They want to be accepted. That's the basic human feeling is that they want to be accepted.
I disagree.
I agree with you, but it comes with a cost.
Yeah, what, your soul? Or
just not being
your
accepted.
individuality.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I didn't mean to say soul.
But
obviously.
Generally speaking,
long story.
Generally speaking, if somebody calls themselves a label, say somebody calls himself, I might have missed something.
No, go on.
If somebody calls himself a Republican or a Democrat or any of those labels, I think less of those specific people.
Okay. Well, then at the same point in time, what about an independent?
Well, independent by itself is not an actual party that has these lists of beliefs that you have to believe in.
Right. Yeah, okay.
They still believe in something, though.
Now, let me go ahead and toss this out there. This may not be totally accurate, but I believe the quote independent party is more or less aligned with independent thinkers that can take, like, all right, they're talking about this over here that I think is good, and they're talking about this over here, which I think is good, and then they fucking, come together somewhere along the line and be like, okay.
And they're not necessarily the majority.
This is realistically, they're
that's
not
the problem.
close to the majority.
Yeah, that's always the problem. They're not the majority.
But because they're not the two main parties.
Right.
At this point in time.
Right.
I mean, you remember, like, back in the day, like, they had, like, the fucking Whig Party and the Federalist Party and all these fucking different parties and everything. What happened to more than a two-party system?
Yeah, most people don't even know there's independent parties. It's crazy.
The biggest problem is that the way that the government is driven is that you have to have money and support to get
elected,
right? To get anywhere, to even be like on the ballot, you have to have so much money and you have to have so much influence. And the problem is that if you're in these parties, if you're in the Democrat or the Republican Party, you have far more resources as in money and
right,
as
because
in
you got
people.
the DNC and the RNC,
right,
backing you and everything. Whatnot.
Right. So these people are always going to be more prominent until people wake up and realize that there's more than that. They have to go out there and find it themselves.
Okay.
Most people are lazy and they're not going to do that.
So we're looking at, we need to have more morality than we do currency when it comes to running the country correctly.
Well, I believe there should be a cost cap, implemented in any type of political campaign, and that cost cap should be about, like, fucking $50 million, right? Instead of this fucking billions of dollars. I
don't think there is a limit, is there?
There's not, no. But, on top of that, what if, okay, like I said, we institute this cost cap and everything, right? As far as the political campaigning and everything, they'll, limit the commercials that I do not want to watch. Why I am fucking watching, South Park or whatever on fucking TV.
At 3 a.m.?
At 3 a.m. Granted, yes, I have terrible insomnia. But if they institute something like that, could there possibly be a chance that it breaks down the two-party system to the point where, like, other people like an independent candidate could actually get in and have a chance?
I was regulated.
I would like to have a instead of just going into the voter booth and making your pick. Most people just walk in there, they just see a name, they see D, R, check.
And whatever their
Check.
friends said that they're
Check.
going to vote for,
Right.
they vote.
I would like for like a sheet to be lit. I would like for a sheet to be laid out in front of them where the person who's running lists what their most prevalent beliefs or whatever they want to run on, and then there should be a second section
And they were held to account
Right.
what they're running for.
where
too.
their opponents get to write something about the negatives about those people. That way people can look at it and then make up their own mind. They're forced. They should be forced to read it and forced to make their own decision and decide. And R and D, Republican and Democrat, cannot be on the voter sheet.
Oh, wait.
That's interesting.
That really is.
I still think they should be held accountable for what they say too, because a lot of times they'll fucking do it just to boost their reputation to the public, and then they won't follow through with their words.
I understand. I don't know how that would be implemented, other than the fact that they just get voted out the next time around.
Well, when they say something, they should be held accountable. If you're standing up on a podium and you say something,
It's got more to do with people not paying attention.
I mean, seriously, think about that. Are they going to throw the President of the United States in jail just because he said something?
I'm not
that
saying
they
jail, but
did?
there should be some penalty to it, because that's
What
lying.
are they going to do? Fine him? Motherfucker's making $500,000 a year.
That's what I'm saying. There should be some kind of regulation towards it. You know what I mean? If you're going to be in a position of power, there should be kind of regulation towards it, because we know
Well, there
they
should be
breed-
accountability.
Accountability.
And that's realistically the problem, because like he's saying, yes, all right, the motherfucker lied to us, vote him the fuck out.
Right. Yeah, you should be able to.
That
throw the
should be
president out.
common sense for the American populace,
Right.
but it is not.
Yeah, they should be thrown out if they lie.
Right. Well, they all lie. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And that's
They
the
all-
problem.
To an extent, sure. But
But that's why I have the positives and the negatives. Positives, negatives. Next.